Hello my friends, good morning to you and welcome back to the reading of the Spirit's book. We are still at the law of destruction and the topic today is war. Well, the question that follows is question 742. What is the cause that leads humankind to war? Answer: the predominance of the animal nature over the spiritual, and the satisfaction of their passions. In the state of barbarity, nations only know the right of the strongest, and that is why war is a normal state for them. As humans evolve, war will become less frequent since they will avoid its causes, and when it does become necessary, they will know how to make it more humane. Question 743. Will war someday disappear from the earth? Answer: yes, when men and women understand justice and practice God's law. Then all nations will live as brothers and sisters. Question 744. What has been the goal of providence in making war necessary? Answer: freedom and progress. And there is a question after this answer. If war is meant to bring freedom, why is it that it has usually had subjugation as its objective and result? Answer: temporary subjugation enables cultures to evolve more quickly. Question 745. What is to be thought about those who stir up war for their own gain? Answer: they are truly guilty and will require many lives to expiate all the murders they have caused, for they will have to answer for every individual whose death they caused to satisfy their own ambition. Now there is another topic, which is murder. Question 746. Is murder a crime in God's sight? Answer: yes, a great crime, because those who take the life of another fellow being thereby cut short a life of expiation or mission, hence the evil. Question 747. Is there always the same degree of culpability in murder? Answer: we have already said God is just. God judges the intent rather than the deed. Question 748. Does God excuse murder in cases of legitimate defense? Answer: only necessity can excuse it. But if we can save our life without having to take the life of the aggressor, we must do so. Question 749. Are persons culpable for the murders they commit in war? Answer: not if they are coerced through force. Nonetheless, they are responsible for the cruelties they commit. Likewise, their display of humaneness will also be taken into account. Question 750. Which is more culpable in God's sight, parricide or infanticide? Answer: they are both equally culpable, for all crime is a crime. Question 751. Why is infanticide a custom condoned by legislation among certain cultures that are already evolved from an intellectual perspective? Answer: intellectual development does not necessarily imply moral development. Spirits of superior intelligence may be evil. They are the ones who have lived many lives without improving themselves. Now there is another topic, which is cruelty. Question 752. May we link the sentiment of cruelty to the instinct of destruction? Answer: It is the destruction instinct in its worst form because even though destruction is sometimes necessary, cruelty never is. It is always the result of an evil nature. Question 753. Why is cruelty the dominant characteristic of primitive peoples? Answer. Among primitive peoples, as you call them, matter dominates spirit. They abandon themselves to their animal instincts. And since they do not have any other needs beyond those of the body, they care only about their own self-preservation. This is what usually makes them cruel. Moreover, peoples of imperfect development are under the dominion of equally imperfect spirits. These imperfect spirits remain sympathetic to them until more highly advanced peoples come to destroy or weaken their influence. Question 754. Doesn't cruelty result from an absence of moral sense? Answer. You may say that the moral sense is not developed, but do not say that it is absent, since it exists in principle in all human beings. This moral sense is what later transforms them into good and human beings. It exists in the primitive like the onset of the aroma in the bud of the flower that has not yet opened. There is a note from Kardec under this answer, which is the following. All faculties exist in humans in a rudimentary or latent state and develop according to how favorable the circumstances are. The excessive development of some impedes or neutralizes that of others. The overexcitement of the material instincts stifles, so to speak, the moral sense, as moral development gradually weakens the purely animal faculties. Question 755. Why is it that in the most advanced civilizations there are individuals who are at times as cruel as barbarians? Answer. For the same reason that on a tree loaded with good fruit there is always some that is rotten. Such individuals have, if you wish, only the appearance of civility, like wolves in sheep's clothing. Low-order, very backward spirits may incarnate among advanced people in the hope of their own progress. However, if the trial is too difficult, their barbaric nature prevails. Question 756. Will the society of moral individuals someday be purged of evildoers? Answer. Humankind is evolving. Those who are dominated by the instinct of evil and who are out of place among moral people will disappear little by little, like bad grains being separated from the good when threshed. But they will be born again in order envelopes. Then, with more experience, they will comprehend good and evil better. You have an example in the plants and animals that you have learned how to perfect by developing new qualities in them. Very well, it is only after many generations that perfection becomes complete. This is a picture of the different existences of human beings. Now there is another topic, which is dwelling. And by dwelling, he makes a small note explaining it. The male gender language was maintained in this section, which deals with this obsolete 19th century made male-oriented custom. Actually, we continue to practice a more subtle form of dwelling nowadays in our daily lives by using words and other antagonistic attitudes that are just as destructive. Well, question 757. Can dwelling be considered a case of lawful self-defense? Answer. No, it is murder and an absurd custom worthy of barbarians. In a more advanced and moral civilization, people will understand that dueling is foolish as the combats of antiquity that were regarded as the judgment of God. Question 758. Can dueling be considered a murder on the part of him who, knowing his own weakness, is almost certain to be killed? Answer. It is suicide. Question that comes after this answer. And when the odds are equal, is it murder or suicide? Answer. It is both. And there's a note from Kardec under this saying the following. In all cases, even in those in which the odds are equal, the dweller is culpable. First, because he coolly and deliberately attacks the life of his fellow man. Second, because he exposes his own life needlessly and without benefit to anyone else. Question 759. In dueling, what is the value of what is called the point of honor? Answer. That of pride and vanity, two sores of humankind. And then there's a question under this answer. But aren't there cases in which honor really is at stake and where refusal would be cowardice? Answer. It depends on customs and usages. Each country and each epoch has a different way of regarding such matters. Nevertheless, when human beings are better and more advanced morally, they will understand that the true point of honor is above earthly passions, and that it is neither by killing or by getting themselves killed that a wrong is redeemed. And then there's a note from Kardec under this answer saying the following. There is more greatness and true honor in recognizing wrongdoing if we err, or in forgiving if we are right, and in all cases in not attaching importance to insults that cannot harm us. And then there's another topic, which is the death penalty. This is a very, very polemic subject. Lots of people in lots of places, they are in favor of this. So let's see what the spirits are going to talk about. Question 760. Will the death penalty someday disappear from human legislation? Answer. The death penalty will assuredly disappear, and its suppression will signal progress for humankind. When humans become more enlightened, the death penalty will be completely abolished on earth. They will no longer need to be judged by others. I speak of a time which is still very distant for you. I wish it could be very close. And then there's a note from Kardec under this answer. Social progress still leaves much to be desired, but we would be unjust toward modern society if we did not see progress in the restrictions imposed on the death penalty among more advanced nations and on the nature of the crimes to which its application is limited. If we compare the safeguards by which justice is enforced to protect the accused nowadays and the humaneness with which they are treated, even when found guilty, with what was practiced in the not-too-distant past, we cannot fail to recognize the path upon which humanity is progressing. Question 761. The law of self-preservation gives us the right to defend our own life. Doesn't this right apply when we eliminate a dangerous member from society? Answer. There are other means of saving yourselves from danger without killing. Moreover, it is necessary to open the door of repentance to the criminal rather than to close it. Question 762. Although the death penalty may be banned from civilized societies? Wasn't it necessary in less advanced times? Answer: necessary is not the right word. People always think a thing is necessary when they cannot find anything better. But as they become enlightened, they better understand what is just or unjust, and they repudiate the excess committed in times of ignorance in the name of justice. Question 763. Is the restriction on cases in which the death penalty is applied an indication of the progress of civilization? Answer: how can you doubt that? Doesn't your spirit revolt when you read the reports of the human slaughters that were formerly perpetrated in the name of justice and frequently in honor of the divinity, of the tortures to which the condemned and even the accused were submitted in order to wrest from them, through excess pain, a confession for a crime that they very often had not even committed? Well then, if you had lived in those times, you would have thought that it was all quite natural, and perhaps, as a judge, you would have done even more. It is thus that what seems just in one era seems barbaric in another. Only the divine laws are eternal. Human laws change with progress, and they will change further until they have been placed in harmony with the divine laws. Question 764. Jesus said, "Whoever kills by the sword shall perish by the sword." Don't these words represent the consecration of the penalty of talion? And isn't the death imposed on the murderer an application of this penalty? Answer: be careful. You are as mistaken about these words as you are about many others. The penalty of talion is the justice of God. It is God Himself who applies it. You all suffer this penalty at every moment because you are punished wherein you have sinned, either in this life or in another. Those who have caused their fellow humans to suffer will be in a situation in which they themselves will suffer in like manner. This is the meaning of Jesus' words. Didn't He also say to you, "Forgive your enemies"? And didn't He teach you to ask God to forgive your offenses as you yourself forgive? That is, in the same proportion in which you yourself have forgiven. Understand this well. Question 765. What about the death penalty imposed in the name of God? Answer: it is equivalent to taking God's place in the practice of justice. Those who act thus reveal how far they are from actually understanding anything about God and how much they still have to expiate. The death penalty is a crime where it is applied in the name of God, and those who do so will be responsible for such murders. Well guys, I hope you guys have liked as much as I do, and I wish you a great day. God bless you all. Bye bye.